Hi, I'm Uma
Hello.
Joy, and I'm here tonight with Kelly Bonzel.
Hello,
And
hello.
we're here for our regular Monday night live with Uma Joy and Kelly Bonzel, where we take different subjects, whatever the muse kind of shows us each week, and we get to just talk about it and share. And we love it when you are here with us in person and when you watch the video later. And we appreciate your comments, your shares, and welcome.
Yes.
So, Kelly, what are we talking about tonight?
Yeah. Tonight we are going to talk about how creativity can support loving kindness. And this came up, this has been something that's been coming up, and I mean, it's just been threading. But the message I keep getting is that I need to go into my heart. Like, I tend to sort of analyze, even in creativity, right? As an artist, I'm always analyzing, like, the composition, right? Do these colors work? Does, like, I mean, all this stuff, and that's okay. But lately, I've just been feeling like so much of my world is, I can, like, physically feel it in my head, like, and so I was listening to someone speak today, which is often kind of how the universe, I'm like, oh, this came up today. And so that seems like it aligns with sort of our next move, and just guided us through the meta prayer of loving kindness. And I made just a really conscious effort to feel it in my heart. And every time I felt myself like analyzing it, like, oh, am I doing that? Oh, am I loving, you know? So, the meta prayer, which you speak it so beautifully, but may I be well in body and well in my mind. May I be happy. May I be at peace and at ease. And then wishing that for, those directly around you and around and around. And so then I started thinking about creativity and what it feels like during a creative practice when, we do drop into that heart space and that place of loving kindness, and how, there's times, I was even thinking this after last Thursday about, um, we're trying to figure out a lot about ourselves personally, like the individual self, when we go onto the page, and how much of an impact that work on myself, like loving kindness towards myself, self-care, understanding, you know, me, like how it helps me to show up for those around me, which is kind of in the season that we are entering into, thinking of gratitude, being with family or friends or chosen people that we, want to spend time with. So anyway, that's kind of like a long-winded, not really just a topic, but sort of where my mind has been with it.
Great. And, so when we are creating, one of the things that we do is we'll often do a coherence meditation to connect all the parts of us, the heart with the mind, with the womb or the gut, with the hands and the feet, the skin, the whole body, going out into the field and going out into the soul. And when we do that, for me, connecting all of those parts of myself, excuse me, includes really connecting with my heart. And if we're not in the heart, it's really hard for me to live my life with loving kindness. And for me, that's what it all is. And I'm not saying I'm always there, but that's what my intention of living my life is living it with love. And as you say, the meta prayer, one of the things that has come up for me over time is that whole concept of, yes, metta, loving kindness towards myself. And it's also kind of easy to think about our loved ones And sometimes it's, myself, my loved ones, my family, my friends, my community, on and on, the city, the state, the country, the world. And then to challenge and get even deeper is to take someone that you have a hard time with. And when you send someone metta, loving kindness, you can't hold on to ill feelings. In truth, in transparency, in vulnerability, So after my divorce, I was not very happy about my then husband that was now becoming my ex-husband, or whatever we want to use the term. And when I would do my morning meditation, I would include, not always, because sometimes I wasn't ready, but may he be safe, may he be happy and healthy and have ease of support, may he be at peace and free.
Yeah.
And I would come out of my meditation in a much different state in my feelings towards him. And it's so powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. And, one thing that came up that when I was the person who shared this prayer with me today was talking about kind of that, like, but kind of the opposite, like when you are angry with somebody and you are being in a way with them or thinking thoughts towards them that are hurtful, right? That it hurts your own loving kindness. It hurts your heart,
Indeed.
And it's like nobody is benefiting from that situation. And it's a practice, like you're saying. It's not always easy, and it's not like you can't always be in that, place. But I feel like, and we do bring up Thursday night here a lot, our Creative Musings class. And, again, it's just that practice and the things that I discover through those different practices, no matter kind of what it is, I always tend to feel a little bit more capable of doing that, of loving myself, which I had to do first, because I swear, like a year ago, I wanted to love myself. Like I thought I loved myself, but I wasn't totally sure, and now I do. And then to be able to have that, ability to send that genuinely and with, my whole heart to others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that there's that saying about, when you hold a grudge and you're not willing to forgive and, that kind of stuff. It's like, it's not really, the other person that you're hurting. It's yourself. Now, if we want to talk energetically, yes, anything I feel is going to go out to everything. And yet, if I can't be in that space, it's hurting me the most.
Yeah.
And, I'm the first one to admit, I'm still in this human body, keep doing my best, and the opportunity will continue to arise to check it out, to try it out, to do it better. And like we said a few weeks ago, if I could do better, I'll do better. And when I can do better, I will. We do the best we can until we can do better.
Yeah. And, thinking about, like, for whatever reason, and I don't think I'm off on this, is like the idea of loving kindness, and like you were saying, like, and being in that heart space, to me, are like, it's like the same practice a little bit, of really feeling into that. And I was saying at the very beginning, just how that's something that I've been really trying to do. And I think it keeps coming up in creative practices of like, oh yeah, this is go deeper here, and trying to feel that without analyzing it without jumping into my head about like, okay, and here's how you can do that. Like do this thing and this thing and, you know, and it was interesting today. So Mondays tend to be like kind of a heavy meditation day for me because I have like this morning group that I meet with. And then at my school, we do a lunch meditation meetup. And then I'm also thinking and of, you know, what to bring into, you know, our conversation tonight. So that's good. I think that it's a good way to start the week. But we were listening to a Sarah Blondin meditation. You know, like her speaking, she writes Heart Minded. Heart. What is her book? It's a beautiful book, and I'll put it in the comments when I figure out what it is. Have you heard of Sarah Blondin?
The name sounds familiar, but not at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. She has these beautiful meditations, and it was about allowing and how we can allow ourselves to feel what we really feel, and you know that there may have been a time when we weren't allowed to feel that, and what we did to kind of compensate for that. Anyway, and then it's amazing how. So then I listened to a podcast later that aligned with that, which isn't really relevant to what I'm saying, but my mind's like thinking. Anyway, during this meditation, I was like kept thinking about the words she was saying and thinking about experiences. And like I said, I physically could feel it in my brain. And I was like, go into your heart, you know, go into your heart. And like finally dropped in there. And it was like, as soon as I was there, like, I mean, and I'm like at my school with like other teachers. And I mean, tears just like are pouring. And I'm like, oh my God, like, and it was such a release. And it was such an experience because I'd heard the concepts that she was referring to before. But being able to be in my heart and having this been thinking about loving kindness towards myself and towards the reasons that I hadn't been allowed to feel. And I mean, it was like there was no feeling of like a grudge. I mean, it was just a release. It was like,
Wonderful.
yeah, it was amazing. And I just am so grateful to feel that I have that connection with knowing what that feels like, knowing to even consider where that feeling is coming from.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So what comes up for me as you're saying that is relating it to our creative practice. And when I am creative with intention, that movement of energy happens. And whether it's, you know, the intention of connecting with my heart, the intention of releasing, you know, anger, pain, whatever it is, whether it's the intention of opening to whatever spirit has to say to me, whatever the thing is, with intention. And so that allows that movement, that allows me to connect with my heart. And then when I do that, it opens up even more to allow that to happen, which then I go to the canvas and it expands it even more. And it's just like this snowballing effect
Yeah.
because, you know, there's not one thing that happens. And so we keep building on whatever it is that needs to show up. And that's one of the things that I appreciate about what we're doing, you know, on our own and in our creative musing Thursday night class and with our intentional creativity community in general, is working on becoming more conscious, having love at the center, choosing love first, becoming conscious, aware, awake. And that's the way I want to live my life. And
Yeah.
I appreciate that we work on it because
Yes.
we'll probably keep working on it until the day that we quit breathing in this lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what a
Yeah.
great way to do it and to surround ourselves with support with other people that are wanting to do the same thing.
Yes. Absolutely. And like as you're speaking about it, and you know, if I was watching us talk about this, I would be thinking, how do I, like, what's the first step, like, for bringing creativity into this? I mean, and if you have a creative practice already, just thinking about it. If you're stitching, like, may I be filled with loving kindness. I mean, you could even just say it while you're stitching, starting with something like that. But I would like to share, what we do in a video on this page, on our Facebook page, especially, I think, well, some people I think have more time during the holidays. There's a little bit of space. We have a little time off work and this. Some people get busier, but I think it's also a time when at the end of the year and like there's just a lot. And to me, it feels good to have some kind of practice. And so I'm going to create a video of some discovery drawing centered maybe around this, like the loving, kindness, to share, so that if you are interested in just doing something small, you can do it on any piece of paper you have at any time. You have a little instruction to get going.
That sounds great. That sounds great.
Yeah.
And that brings up, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, because not everybody can come, to Thursday night or has, so it's just a tool. Yeah.
Great. I think that sounds great. And, it wasn't our planned pre-planning or whatever, but that does remind me that on December 1st, we are starting our solstice practice like we did last year, and with prompts and support that we're all working for the 21 days for, however the themes tie in together. And, loving kindness is huge on that. And there'll definitely be more information coming out about that in the next week, because it's fun to do it together, not just you and me, but with as we term our beloveds, and those of you that are watching this video now or later, that you join us, because it's fun to do it and support and share. And when I know somebody else is showing up, it makes sure that I show up and do my own work even more clearly. And yes, we should do that for ourselves anyway. And it's nice in community.
Yeah. And as you're saying that, I'm thinking like, I think last year we sort of we had a theme, but maybe even, having a little bit of a, maybe each week or something like that, there being a theme. And if you have an idea, those of you watching, of something that you would like to work on, or something that you think would be a meaningful, discovery adventure through, getting us up into the winter solstice, please share in the comments, because I'm so glad you said that. That makes me so excited, because it's coming up now, and I was looking forward to it like weeks ago, and I was like, I don't know, it's still kind of far, but
it's so far away, and it's like, no, it's like 2 weeks away.
Yeah. Just having that ritual, having that practice, having a thing that you can sit down and do for an hour or more, or you can sit down for 5 minutes with your cup of coffee and do a thing, but keeping it going, and keeping that commitment to yourself. Like when there's a challenge like that, to say like, I'm going to do this. And even again, if you can only give it a couple minutes, but if you know that you do it, I've been noticing that too, just the trust that I've been building for myself when I say I'm going to do something and I do it, and how that feels versus not. And when you have support and accountability, that makes it a lot easier.
It does make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
And it teaches ourselves that we are trustworthy, because if I say I'm going to show up and I don't, then that inner part of me says, what the heck? She doesn't follow through.
Right.
And so it's a good stretch for that muscle.
Yeah. And to bring us kind of full circle, I mean, I think most of the time we do show up for other people when we say we're going to, like if I know you're going to be on here, like I'm going to do everything I can to show up for you. But if it's just me, it's harder. And I think that's back to that self-care and that loving kindness for ourselves, that like we are just as valuable, if not more, than the other people to show up for ourselves and to say,
Yeah.
I'm going to do this for you, and to do it. And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
All right.
So this Thursday, we usually end up having a similar theme of what we talk about on Monday night. So it comes up on Thursday for our creative musing workshop, play shop, discovery drawing, whatever you want to call it. And we'll put the link below the video if you wish to join us. And we'll be doing it this Thursday. We will take next Thursday off as it is a holiday for people, um, and may we give deep thanks for our lives and all that we are, all that we have. And then we'll start again the following week. And we do 6-week sessions, but people can come for one or more. You can sign up one at a time, or you can sign up for a session of 6, either way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And look back, come check out the page in a day or so. And I'm going to share a video so you can get a little glimpse of kind of, I've shared some time lapses. So if you're interested right now, if you kind of scroll through, there's some videos, but something will slow it down and give some instruction and an inquiry with that. Yeah. Yeah.
all right.
All right.
Thanks, Kelly. It's good to talk
Yes.
to you. Thank the
You
rest of you
too.
for joining us, and much love to all.
Yes. Mwah.
Mhm.